Good morning, friends. What do you mean, what? No. Remember, I'm going to record a video. Or I'm going to go live. I'm recording from home today. And we've never done this with us both in the house. And so Amber heard me start talking and she was like, "What's going on?" Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Brandy. And whoever else is out there. I'm home because I woke up with something in my eye and it just started, it was watery all morning and it gave me this headache. So I've been walking around like this and it's hard to do pastor work, like reading and thinking when you have a headache and you're closing an eye. So I am hanging out at home trying to not die. Anyhow, it's Giving Tuesday. If you weren't aware, I'm sure you've gotten like a billion emails about it. Good morning, Jill. I'm sure everyone and their mother has hit you up for money. And so we're going to do that too. Just kidding. Because my name's not Creflo Dollar and I don't need a jet to go somewhere. So, but I thought it would be good to reflect upon a particular verse in the Bible, in Acts chapter 20, in light of giving. And actually, you know what Giving Tuesday is really good for? It's a great day to unsubscribe to email lists. So if you get emails that you're like, yeah, I gave them money once, but I don't really care about hearing from them again, or some organization you gave to one time, you can just hit that unsubscribe button from them and you won't have to deal with it anymore. Don't unsubscribe from us, YouTube or Facebook or the email, because we want you to know what's going on. We're not going to hit you up for money though. So it's Giving Tuesday, a day that people traditionally have, or traditionally, not traditionally, it's fairly new actually. This idea of the Tuesday after Black Friday and Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday. That you, organizations that are charitable giving ask people to give, and so they appeal to people for that. But we're not going to talk about that. What I want us to reflect upon is this verse in Acts chapter 20, verse 35. And this is what the end of the verse says, and this is Paul relating to the Ephesian, he's speaking to the Ephesian elders, and he's called them to meet him in Miletus. And it's kind of like his farewell speech to them. I'm not going to see you again. Wolves are going to come in among you. Be wise. Shepherd the flock that is among you. Paul is calling them to care for the people. And one of the things he says at the end, in verse 35, he says, "In all these things I've shown you that by working hard in this way we must help the weak. And remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive." Now, this is actually the only instance that we have of this verse being, or this statement of Jesus being recorded. So Paul must have learned it either in his own interactions with Jesus when Jesus revealed himself to him on the road to Damascus, or at some other point, or Paul learned it from one of the other apostles or disciple of Jesus in his travels. And this verse, or this part, this statement that Jesus is making, it really, it kind of hits at our flesh, doesn't it? A lot of Jesus's teachings and statements, they really kind of, if we slow down long enough and let them impact us enough, they can kind of rub on our natural human tendencies. And this statement of Jesus, I think it does that. It says, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Yes, Jesus is right, but how often do I not feel that way? How often do I want to be the one receiving instead of the one giving? How often do I want to be the one who's getting the most Christmas gifts, or who's getting the last piece of the pie, or wins the contest, or if you're in groups that people give stuff away, how often am I the one that I'm like, ooh, I really want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. And one of the things I think is so interesting about this is Jesus says that it is more blessed to give than receive, How often do we want to be on the receiving end instead of the giving end? It's easy to let our natural desires, our fleshly desires, to overtake us in that, overtake our want. And I think it's a good reminder on a day like today, or in really any day in a particular time of year when it's kind of focused on giving, but it's also focused on getting. I've noticed that a lot lately, that Black Friday, people spend a lot of money on themselves in buying stuff for them instead of buying stuff as gifts for other people. Now they might still buy gifts, but they also buy stuff for themselves. It's like, I'm going to get a good deal for me on Black Friday. What is our focus? What is our tendency? What are we trying to do? One of the reasons that I think this verse really rubs up on us is because our natural desire, our natural tendency, our fleshliness is self-focused. The long-standing tradition that the sin of Adam and Eve, the first sin, was ultimately a sin of pride, that most sin is rooted in pride, is really rubs up against our spiritual tendencies, or what our spiritual tendencies should be, which is it's better to give. And so as we're thinking about this, I think this is a helpful verse that we can use to kind of give ourselves a heart check, or check what's going on inside of us. And I think, how often do I just want to get, instead of being one to give. Now, there are times where it would be unwise for us to give. If we need to pay a bill, or we can give a gift, we need to pay our bill. So there are times where giving might not be the right choice. But generally, what is my tendency or my attitude towards giving and receiving? Is it one that views giving as a blessing to be sought after or to be pursued? Or is it one that is my natural tendency, or my where I'm at currently? Is it one that wants to receive? We can be blessed by giving. Now, that goes against pretty much everything our society looks at and tells us. Society tells us it's he who dies with the most toys. We joke that he still dies, but there is this natural, or this earthly perspective of, I want to have the most stuff. I want to have all the best things. And yet Jesus here is challenging us to consider that it is better to give than to receive. So as we're on Giving Tuesday, I just thought, it's a day where that's going to be shoved in our faces, is the idea of giving. And so what are we giving towards in this? If it's better to give than to receive, what are we giving towards? Are we actually not just giving out of obligation or because someone asked, but is giving something that we actually genuinely desire to do? I think when we look at the life of Christ and we see his actions, we see a heart that is entirely committed to giving. When he came to earth, he did so as a gift for us. He did not come to be served, but to serve. And as we are reflecting on giving, do we, in our hearts, really see giving as a way for us to be blessed? Or do we see giving as some kind of burden, or it's just something we do? It may not be intimately connected to blessing. but yet Jesus says it is more blessed to give than to receive. And so on this Giving Tuesday, I just want us to spend a few minutes reflecting on that. And friends, I hope as you just really spend some time reflecting on that idea that it's more blessed to give than to receive, use it as an opportunity to ask yourself, what is my heart attitude towards giving and receiving right now? Am I viewing giving as a means to be blessed, or do I kind of go with the world's way where it's getting that makes me blessed? I think it can serve as a heart check for us and help us to be reminded of what Jesus' own attitude towards giving and Jesus' own actions and what he calls us to as well. So I hope that that's an encouragement to you, or at least a challenge to consider. Be reminded of the fact that Jesus gave more than we could ever ask, and we receive from him more than we could ever ask. But at the same time, he calls us to emulate himself. God is the giver of life, and God loves to give, and he wants us to be like that. So I hope that encourages you and helps you to reflect upon this verse, Acts 20, verse 35. Does anyone need anything? Have any questions, thoughts before I take off and close my eye for the rest of the morning and hope that my eye feels better? All right, friends. I hope you have a great day. It was great to see you all on Sunday, and I will see you again this coming Sunday. Ladies, don't forget about the Cozy Christmas Gathering on Friday. Make sure you sign up for that. Men, make sure you've signed up for men's breakfast on Saturday morning. Did I say the women's thing was on Friday or Saturday? I hope I said Friday, because it's on Friday. It's not on Saturday. Women's thing Friday night, men's thing Saturday morning, and then we will have service on Sunday morning, and we will sing between services at 10:15 in the parking lot. Hope you'll join us, even if you've been watching services from home. I know a few people have come to sing with us in the parking lot, and it's been a great time. I've really enjoyed it, and it was fun singing Christmas songs as we stood in the parking lot while it was a little chilly. So hopefully no rain, and yeah. All right, I will see y'all later. Have a great day. God bless.